Yo, can you hear me? You listening to
WAW. What a week.
Eta, welcome to another edition of Wow, What a Week. Our guest this week, incredible woman. She traded sashes for strategy, from Miss SA to Mrs. Mang Mang. From catwalks to boardrooms. When she's in the building, the room stops and nobody gets catty or bored. She's next.
This is Wow! What a week. What a week. Celebrity guest.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the last time I had a conversation with this incredible woman was 2018. Her son was 2. My son was 2. I felt like we were raising them parallel to one another. So I reunited to talk raising 10-year-olds. Because when you raise a 10-year-old, you realize how little you know. Please, make some noise for Bokang Montjane-Tshabalala.
Hi, how are you?
Hello, Ina.
Right.
I am so well. I am so peaceful. I know it's not my interview, but everything I do leads with peace now.
That's good.
If it's not going to give me peace, I'm not interested.
You're not doing it, right?
If it's going to steal my joy, I'm not.
Yeah. I think you get to a certain age, you're like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what the sad thing is? That we almost wait until a certain age.
It's too late.
To disallow certain things. Whereas, had we been raised to learn to disallow certain things, like our 10-year-olds are teaching us.
Yeah. But I also just think everything happens in its time. I think I almost feel like we kind of need to go through these crazy 20s where we're trying so hard, we're trying to get so much approval until eventually you get to an age where you're like, I've always been good enough. The worth, you know. I even sometimes talk about how difficult it is, the transition from being a Miss South Africa to being you.
Sure.
You know, people don't talk enough about it, and it's a thing.
So let's talk about it. Let's talk about that transition.
You know, I think for me, I've been blessed enough with a life that I think I'm very fulfilled. I'm very successful in my own right, in my own capacity. But I remember very well, Hore, I got crowned at 24 as Miss South Africa. And before that, I had 10. Miss South Africa was my 10th title. So you can imagine, since I was age 17, I almost had a title every single year until I got crowned Miss South Africa. And then when I handed the crown over, I almost had to figure out,
what am I doing next? Let's keep it easy.
You know? And we don't talk enough about it, but it's almost like I realized I had placed my own value on this crown and a sash.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and I had to relearn that. I actually had to start to actually find my value again in my worth and to realize as I am,
sure,
you know, title or not. And so yeah, people don't talk enough about that.
So if you will, from sashes to ashes to rebirth.
Yeah, something like that.
Because you must bend everything and start again.
You have to. And it was, you know what, and I think I'm blessed that I got to learn that in, you know, around the ages 20, 25.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how you say you're now successful in your own right. And you know how I knew you're successful? As we're sitting here waiting for you, we heard a V8 engine roaring.
Oh my gosh, no!
We heard a V8 engine roaring. I was like, I am sure that is her because she's got V8 NH. And then it parked. She walked out. I was like, I knew it.
Maybe get at me.
No, let me tell you something. There's something. I'm finding the right words because you're a married woman.
Yeah.
There's something sexy about a woman who appreciates the power under the bonnet of a car.
Oh no, I love it.
And it's just, it's there's just something about it.
My husband knows already.
He must know you.
It's a car must be gangster, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, since you've arrived here, you've probably said my husband about 6 times.
Have I?
No, there's nothing wrong. And you've spoken about the transition from Miss Everything to Miss SA to what next.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the transition from Miss SA to Mrs. Tshabalala.
Yeah.
You know, how do those shifts happen mentally?
Yeah.
And to use a word I'm sure Somizi would make up, and even the relationship with Kali.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. We met while I was Miss SA. Actually, we met at a radio station. And he was going out. He was leaving. So his goal had been chosen as one of the top 10
Yes.
goals in the world. And then I had just been crowned Miss South Africa. I was going in for my interview and he was leaving.
So you were a winning couple before you were even a couple.
Yeah, before we were even a couple.
Who made eye contact first?
I can't remember. That day was so hectic. Actually, we laugh about it to say I got there and then they're like, oh, there's Miss South Africa. Oh, Shaba, here, you guys must take pictures. His manager was just like literally, I think this guy just, now all of a sudden we're taking pictures.
Now there's a
Everybody
PR moment.
It was that. It was a huge PR moment.
Yeah.
And then, and then we left. And but then I guess he went behind my back and asked for my numbers from one of the producers.
Yeah.
So he went and begged for the numbers. They're like, no, we can't. And then he got them. And then eventually he made contact.
What was the first call or text? You
It was the first text was like, hi, it was wonderful meeting you. I hope we can chat some more. And then he's like, I'm leaving for whatever. I'll be back. Yeah, it was like, I'm leaving for Europe. I'll be back. I hope we can have a conversation when we come back. And then he said from Siphiwe, but the Siphiwe was CPWE. I was like, who is this? Now I'm trying to recall everyone.
You're like, which rapper is this?
I'm like, who is this? Who's this person? You know, I'm trying to recall. And then later, and then he called because I didn't respond. I think because I was still trying to figure out who this is. And then he called and then we had a chat. Yeah. So it was just a nice, down-to-earth chat, nothing dramatic. And and I think that's how it really started. And it took us about a good 2 years to actually date.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he was very patient.
He was very patient.
Stalking you, patient.
But I knew
like a lion in the Serengeti.
But I knew he's my husband. I knew before even, I think even within the 3 months we were talking, I remember saying to one of my friends, I think this guy's my husband, but I don't think she knows it yet.
Honestly, let me tell you why I think he knew.
Yeah.
Often within the first couple of days, even week that you meet a woman, you know.
You know, right?
Might delay for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But you know when you know.
Yeah.
That's why I never look down or even bat an eyelid when someone says we met and we're married 6 months later.
Yeah.
Because you can.
You know
immediately.
Yeah. But he also says that. He was like, because I always ask him, you know how women are, Mara love, when did you know you love me?
Yes.
Yeah, when did you? And he's like, listen, I knew that, you know, we're meant to be together. The only reason it took so long for us to actually date is because he had just lost his mom. And I think I met him a month after he lost his mom. And he was very broken. And I always felt like if I date him now, I'm going to get a broken version of him.
Oh, yes.
And
I was
like, listen, because you never really get over losing a mom. And so I had this thing of, let's just be friends. You know, let me just give you whatever support it is you need. And, you know, but I just knew he's too broken. And I didn't want a broken version of him. And so, and then I think it took us like a good 2 years. And then that's when we started to date.
Do you remember the first kiss?
Yes, I do.
Where,
I don't want to share it yet, but I did.
Where were you guys?
We were at his place, actually, and I was about to leave. I was in the car, and then he came and sat right here. Well, when I'm more like here, and then he kissed me. Yeah, so I do remember it.
So what's happening in your head and in your heart?
At that moment.
He's coming in.
No, I mean, he came, he sat in, and we started having a conversation. We'll continue with the conversation, and then he kissed me. I was like, oh, okay.
Here we go.
Okay. But I mean, even the transition from us dating to getting married, I think even the marriage part, it was a formality, you know, because I think we knew really that we're meant to be together, and it was just linyano is just to formalize what you have, and that's what it is. And and it was quite interesting. Yeah.
Soccer players like DJs have wild reputations.
Yes.
So as you're walking into this relationship,
What
are your fears? What are your friends saying?
Yeah.
And what is your family saying?
For me personally, I got to know him.
Sure.
And his profession like method, like literally zero. I got to know him. I got to know the man, the human being, and that's who I fell in love with, without an attachment of his career.
Sure.
And just to answer in terms of family, I remember asking my dad, but this is after we'd gotten married. I said, Papa, were you not worried though? Like, be honest. I know you're a Kaizer Chiefs fan and you love Siphiwe, but let's be honest. Were you not worried because there's a lot of negative stuff in the papers with regards to soccer players? And then my dad said, I didn't know Siphiwe, but I know you. I raised you. And he was like, there's no way you are going to bring somebody who is not worthy of being your husband, not worthy of being a son. So yeah, my dad said that, and he said, so it didn't worry me. I didn't care about what happens in the media or what people say. So I know my daughter, and I knew you were going to choose a good man.
At family gatherings, do you ever have to call Bomalume to the side and say, his family, is at least Aje?
Siphiwe is such a cool guy that it doesn't matter where you take him. Sharp is like,
don't stress about me.
Yeah, he is like, he is just one of the guys. He is chilled. He is so I never really have to worry that much about him. And even when I do get bona sharp. Yeah.
and I guess sometimes that our sharp was more just I'm still here.
Yeah.
It's almost a romantic, I'm still here.
Yeah, like
I know
right. Yeah.
Also, he's dealt with some of the best defenders in the world.
Yeah.
So he can handle Bomalone.
He'll find his way. He'll find his way.
He'll be fine.
No, he's a pretty chilled guy. He's so chilled, but he's also such a good human being.
Sure.
Yeah, I think I got very lucky.
I feel like we've broken the ice already.
Yeah.
Because normally we do an icebreaker.
Oh, is it?
So we're going to break the ice even further.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, it's 10 questions and don't overthink them. And just give us an answer.
Okay.
Stressed? Heels or flats when with hubby?
When with hubby, it's flats. But I'm a heels girl.
One thing hubby does that always makes you laugh.
Sure, there's a lot. He tells the craziest stories, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's pretty funny.
If you could have dinner with any African woman, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
You know what? It would be with my late grandmother, actually.
How old were you when she passed?
Sure, I was in varsity.
Okay, so you'd had a good time with her.
I had a good time with her, but I mean, I would kill for more time with, yeah.
Masonja or prawns?
Masonja. I'm from Limpopo, hello.
Well, maybe you could argue that Masonja are the prawns of Limpopo.
Yeah. I mean, just better.
Where do you feel more powerful, pageant stage or business boardroom?
I mean, I've grown some. I would say, business boardrooms now. Yeah. Before, if I was still in my 20s, I would have said that. I would say it on stage, But now it's I don't have the desire to go back and be on stage.
So you wouldn't do Mrs. South Africa?
No. I have a desire to have a microphone, to speak, to share, to heal, to give hope. That's my
But
thing.
You know you'd win though, right?
No, I don't know. I don't know, but
I think you should go for Mrs. South Africa. I'm just here to remind you guys.
No.
In case you forgot.
I did my part. I conquered. I'm good.
One word that describes the woman you were versus the woman you've become today.
Ooh, the woman I was.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. I think the woman I was, a dreamer. And now that I've grown, I understand that so much doesn't really come from me and how hard I work. I would say now favored. Yeah, favored. Because I think I've just learned to realize I walk in God's grace, So
it's an incredible feeling, eh? Even when things fall apart,
sure,
you're like, that's what things do.
But when it comes to that, I walk in God's favor, and that's that.
One word hubby would use to describe you.
One word he would use to describe me. I think, guys, you need to ask him that.
No, but you knowing him, how do you think he'd describe you in one word?
He'd probably say beautiful. Yeah, I hope I think that's the word he would use. In and out. I hope. Yeah.
What would you say is the most South African thing about you? That if I didn't know you and your streets of Paris, I'm like, that's a South.
Oh yeah, not just South Africa. It'll probably be my language. Yeah, I think it will probably be the fact that I speak Spedi as much as I can. You know, any opportunity to speak my language. That's what I think.
3 more questions. One song that instantly boosts your mood. Ships are down, the song plays, everything is okay.
Sure. I love music, and so that's a tough one. One that really makes me feel good.
It'll probably be Zola's Mgrembe. It doesn't matter what's happening, but yeah, you put that on and I just, I don't care what's happening. I actually say to my, Shomarana Lady love song because it seems like, that's my song.
DJ Naves' wife had a birthday.
Yeah.
And I was DJing at the party.
Yeah.
And I played a kwaito set.
Yeah.
I dropped Mgrembe.
And people went crazy.
No.
Yeah, no, that's it. That's it for me.
It was like an epic reminder of where we come from and the greatness we come from.
Yeah.
The best part and the worst part about being a mother.
The best part and the worst part. The best part is watching them grow, learn, become their own people. The worst part is accepting that they don't belong to me. That's the worst part, is the hardest part. Realizing what asubag, they actually just come through me. Life is going to happen to them. They're going to face their own challenges. It's a journey between them and their God. Now that for me breaks my heart, because you always want to be in control, to protect them, to take care of everything. And I think, raising a child who is autistic taught me that. I had to learn it very early on, that he's his own person. He's on his own spiritual journey with his God. And he's going to face his own challenges, whether mom is there or not. Yeah, that's tough. That's the toughest part.
At what stage did you realize that he's on the spectrum?
Oh, no, I've always known as a mom from the time he was like 2. I've always known.
What did you see or feel?
He was just different, and his milestones had...
What's his name?
Owetu.
Okay, Owetu.
Yeah,
Sorry, I love names. You mustn't speak.
Owetu was... He was always so fast with all his milestones, but his speech...
Aha.
Yeah.
Okay.
And remember, for me, because I've always known I'm born, and I was actually created to speak. It shocked my system. Spiritually, it was one of the hardest things I think I've ever faced, because the hardest thing was watching my child struggle with the one thing that I see as my superpower.
Oh, yeah.
That was tough.
Expression.
Ooh, that was tough.
But that time he's intelligent, though.
Super. He can watch a show 3 times or listen to a song 3 times, and he can sing it from beginning to end. So he could say the words. He just couldn't make a conversation. So I've always known from the time he was 2, and that's why when he turned 3, I took him to preschool, because I thought, let's see. But even his social skills, he was the type of a child who didn't play with other kids, and all those signs that one picks up on the spectrum. Yeah.
What does raising a child on the autism spectrum do for a couple? Whether it's bring them closer together or pull them apart, because often that's what special children do.
Yeah.
They can make or break a marriage.
A marriage, definitely. I think I've been blessed enough, and shame. I'm not blaming men, but I have seen how men's egos cannot handle having a child that is not
with special needs.
perfect.
Yes.
And I have seen how, I work with so many autism families, and single mothers are raising their kids on their own, simply because a man, his ego just couldn't handle having a child that's not perfect.
And it's bad enough as men, generally, I'm generalizing here. Generally, we are not fully present even with
a perfect
raising our children in our own homes.
Yeah.
Where you think because you're home and you pay the rent, orega grows.
You feel like you're doing enough.
You can buy the PlayStation, but emotionally, are you there?
Are you there?
Can the
Are you
child
present?
relate to you?
Yeah.
Do they feel safe enough to share that deepest fears
Yes.
with you as a parent. Because for me, if a child does not feel safe with their own parent, then we are doing something wrong. We need to bridge that gap.
I think I've seen it has broken a lot of families. And I think that's why I always say I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for the man that God gave me, because this man was just so hands-on. He was like, what do you think? What should we do? Okay, it's fun. Let's try out the speech therapy. Let's try this out. Okay, how do you feel about this? You know, so he loves his child. There's so much that he was like, I'm here.
Sure.
I'm doing this. And so I'm always grateful, but it definitely has broken a lot of families. I have seen it.
And the sad thing, especially with us as Majid, because we want a 10 fingers, 10 toes, perfect baby, it often becomes easy for us to blame the mom.
Yeah.
Had you not eaten this, maybe the child would be fine. Or had you not done that, maybe the child
Maybe this would, yeah.
And I remember a cousin of mine, like years ago, with his wife, they had a intersexed child who also had cerebral palsy. And then at some stage they had to do a operation and decide the kid's sex, the gender. And the doctor said that she's more of a girl than she is a boy. But he wanted a boy, you see. So he pushed for the surgery to turn her into a boy. And until eventually my dad had to sit down with him and say, listen to what the experts are saying.
The experts are saying.
But having said that, though, I love the fact that they showed up together. She quit work.
Yeah.
And she's raised this child. That's all she's done over the last 22 years.
And even that is sad, though.
Yeah.
I think even that is sad, because I actually did a video recently and I was saying, you know, in those early years, there are so many things that I loved that I couldn't do.
Yes.
Because I was more focused on, I need to get him to speech, I need to get him to OT, I don't even know how I survived those years, but my focus was just my son. I mean, yes, I was still doing like the kiddies range, which is what we met, you know, with regards to, but my focus was just so much. It's sad when you watch a mother, because it happens often that the man will continue with life and work and, you know, bring in the money. But to be a woman and not to be able to live your dreams because you have to take care of your child, that is sad.
There's a conversation.
That is sad.
We had Letadiso all the time.
Yeah.
That because, you know, people, for instance, say your kids are well adjusted.
Yeah.
How did you guys get it right? And I always say, if the mom had not said, with each child, I want to take 3 years off radio and just raise the child. And she did that with all 3 of her children. And I feel, had she not done that, we'd be raising 3 totally different children.
Yeah, probably.
But because she sacrificed that career to raise
her life.
And often we don't say thank you enough.
Never. Yeah.
For thank you for doing it.
Yeah.
And I always say, if as a couple you can afford for one of you to work and one of you to stay home with the kids, go with that option. Yeah. Even if it's just for the first 5 years.
2 years.
You'll raise totally different people.
Yeah. I think it's very, very tough. And I think I've been blessed enough with at least owning my time.
Yes.
So I still get to, maneuver around things, and I'm not stuck somewhere from like 9 to 5 and then come, so it's easier for me to make the sacrifice of, okay, this I can put on hold for a little bit.
Yeah.
I can still take care of my child and then still get to do something that I love.
That was actually going to be my next question.
Yeah.
That when a child has special needs, they need time.
Yeah.
But you've always managed to still be a boss lady, to get things done, to still be wifey.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can't be easy.
It can't be easy, but it helps when you have somebody who loves you and still wants you to thrive. And I say this to a lot of women. Marry a man who is not intimidated by your success or even intimidated. Remember, sometimes we meet, we are young. There isn't much success. But a man who's not intimidated or threatened by your ambition.
Yes.
And in our marriage, we had this thing. We have Bokang's personal goals. We have Siphiwe's personal goals on our vision board. And then we have ours as a couple.
That is true.
And I always say this to my pastors. But this two become one thing. It's great, but, we try very hard.
Practical.
No, it's not. It's not. And so we are always aware of where Bokang wants to go, where Siphiwe wants to go, whether it's career-wise, whether it's personal ambitions. And we always find a way and always go back to supporting each other through that. So I don't think I would have been able to manage still winning along the journey of raising our son if he didn't understand. So he's always been such a great support system, you know, and I'm very grateful for that. Yeah.
How long did number 2 pop up after?
5 years later. The plan wasn't that though. Yeah. The plan was to have our daughter just 3 years after.
What's her name?
Khoshirat.
Okay,
Yeah. And then what happened was because...
Queen.
Yeah. And then what happened was because of my son's, you know, obviously being on the spectrum, then I decided to delay it. I wanted to give him enough attention. I wanted to see.
But there was a plan.
No, there wasn't.
Number 2 we need to score again.
Yes. No. There was definitely a plan. There was a plan. If you ask my husband, he's going to say there was a plan for 4. So...
It's not too late.
No, it's very late. It's not happening.
Sorry, Spirit. It's not too late. So...
It's very late, love.
Just get in the 18 area out. What's up?
So, yeah.
Now, we suffered a miscarriage before we had Wandi. Wandi is just turned 17.
Yeah.
She's in a matric right
Yeah.
now. And trying again was almost a trigger.
Oof, yeah.
In that we fall pregnant, but now we're like, I'm gonna make it. Let's talk about that for you guys, because we've had our firstborn. Our firstborn is on the spectrum.
Having a second baby.
But because human beings, we don't let.
Yeah.
We want to get back on the bull. We want to ride this bull again. Let's talk about that journey for you guys.
It was extremely scary. I remember when I was pregnant with our daughter.
Yeah.
Then my gynae said, listen, we noticed something. I'm like, what did you notice? They said,
Here we go again.
hey, yeah. You know, I was like, what did you notice? And then they said, there's a whatever unit explained it in their terms. And I said, what does that mean? They said, your child might have Down syndrome. And I just thought, oh, my heart. And you have to come back. We need to do tests. We went there. I did the tests. It was the most excruciating 2 weeks of my entire life.
Yeah.
And I remember just saying to God, listen, I know nobody's going to expect this, but I was like, if you want me to start praying to the devil, you better give me another chance. Like, listen, now you're pushing me.
Yeah.
And, but I was scared. And because it had been such a tough journey with my son, I just remember saying to God, I can't. Listen, you keep giving me stuff and mountains to climb. I will not be able to. Please do not do this to me. Like, I just can't. And of course, the test came out and they were clear. But the fear.
It's debilitating.
And you can only imagine. Now then, it was such a trigger that I was scared until I gave birth. Because you
don't know what's next.
Now you're thinking, what could happen? You know, so I fully understand when you're talking about having a miscarriage and then trying to have another. It was, and you're scared the entire time because you're feeling like, you know, you've experienced something. It's beautiful, yet it's painful, and you don't want to experience it again. So it was very tough. It was very, very tough. But, like I say, we walk in God's grace and
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, women's mental health has been in the spotlight, and men's mental health this past month. Let's talk about you and how you manage yours.
Yeah.
Also, given your journey, the mountains you've had to climb, 2 pregnancies that were not necessarily fun.
Yeah. Sure.
And that he still wants 2 more.
And he's not getting 2 more. You know, for me, I've been going to therapy since I was 9 years old. 9 years old.
What was happening at 9?
At 9, my mom just felt like if my mom, and I'm always so grateful. I say that the 2 gifts that my mother ever gave me, it was prayer, knowing God, and then also taking me to therapy. Yeah. So I was a very expressive child and very outspoken. I think it shocked my mom's system a little bit because she's such a quiet, sweet lady. And so
but what was it that said to her, let me send my daughter to therapy?
I was very outspoken, so I would be able to tell them, I actually don't feel like you guys treat us the same. I feel like, this one is favored a little bit more. You're a kid. Why olisam omanya? Why naling omanya? What makes you think I can handle it? Why, and so I would ask such questions, but it also really expressed myself. And I think it really shocked my mom because I think half the time she didn't really have answers, but I think because she's a nurse, so I think she understood the psychological part of it, that if I don't do anything about it, I'm going to lose her. one way or another, right? So I've been going to therapy since I was 9 years old. And based on that, I learned very early on that you can't do life alone. You should always have somebody you can speak to. And so I've had a therapist for, how old am I now? I've had a therapist for 30 years because now I'm 39. And even though they've changed along the way, but in terms of mental health, I have always known there is always somewhere I can go to. Do you understand? And I've surrounded myself with people who are really loving in case I need it. But, professionally, I seek help all the time. Without fail, I'm not even embarrassed about it. It's part of who I am. I grew up going to a psychologist. Yeah.
A part of your work, well, let me talk pageant 3, means you need to accept the fact that you might not be the queen this year.
Yeah.
And that means for some people it's a rejection.
Yeah.
But alinyake mos. You know what I mean? Not a basic level. So alinyake,
Some people, yeah.
Even with your first pregnancy, where it was not as perfect as it could have been.
Yeah.
The second pregnancy was also traumatic.
Yeah.
How do you deal with rejection or feeling like, guys, this was a brilliant business plan?
Yeah.
Why are you not funding it?
Yeah. I think when I was a little girl, I did pageants. My dad, I don't know how my dad found out about these little kiddies pageants. But I would go and I would never win because even back then it was the light-skinned girls who are considered beautiful, right?
Yes.
So I would enter and just never win.
You know, Miss Hamba Felis.
No. And then I remember one day I started to realize that I'm losing.
Yes.
And it sounds so small, but it was such a defining moment for me. And I remember asking Papa, why didn't I win? And Papa, why is I kiki win? And then he made a joke and said, did you see the judges? I said, no. And his response was, they are so ugly. Those judges are such ugly people, and ugly people always choose ugly people. And I talk about it because I don't think he understood what it did for me there.
Yes.
He made me realize that when I don't get something, when I get rejected, it's not because I'm not good enough.
Yes.
So I learned it very on at a very young age that what's mine is mine. It will always find me, even though obviously I couldn't really. But even then at a young age, I knew I can always go and stand in front of, a crowd and do my thing. And if I don't get chosen, it's not because of my worth. It just goes to somebody else.
Yes.
So I learned it very, very early on. And in terms of rejections, my gosh, I have been rejected so many times, and I talk about it, without shame, because that is life. You should know, right? So that we go out and you have a great proposal and you say, this is fantastic. They say no to you. They might still do it with somebody else, but I have learned to just take it as it is. And I think at my age, I've just also realized that sometimes it's just protection. There's some things I've gotten rejected for, and then tomorrow when it's mamang in the front papers and it's related to corruption, and you are like, oh my gosh, so this is it. This is why I didn't get this particular thing. Yeah. So I think I walk with the confidence of knowing, and if it passes me, it's just not mine. Yeah. Even though we want more, we always want more. But I think I've learned to make peace with it. Yeah.
One of the big news stories this week or last week, Japan has a female prime minister finally.
Okay.
And you're a woman who's been breaking boundaries the way we hope the Japanese prime minister will do. What are you learning as you walk into boardrooms, into business deals, about what is a male-dominated world?
Yeah.
But you feel, just let me show you that I can also do it.
Yeah. I think it's just about proving that you can do the work. Nobody cares whether you look pretty or what. Like, let me tell you, you need to go in there, you need to know your story. Yes. And unfortunately, because almost Saadi, you almost need to know 10 times more than what's expected. Yeah. And you always have to prove yourself over and over again. And I say over and over again because just because you did the previous thing, exceptionally well, it does not mean you'll get a second chance. We almost have to go back and prove ourselves. But I mean, it's a great lesson. That is life. That is life. You shouldn't expect and so one of the things I've learned is just to prove that you can do the work, and when you get it as well, and not just as a woman, but even as a black woman. I don't think we fully understand some of the opportunities that we get that are so rare.
Yes.
And we don't understand that if we do not do them well, we are messing it up for any other black woman that comes after us. So you get an opportunity. It's like with the kiddies clothing range, to be in retail.
Yes.
If I didn't do that well, they will never ever accept another black woman who comes and says,
it's almost like we've sent you in on,
yeah,
on a reg.
Yeah, and it's like you've been given a rope to hang yourself,
Yeah, check a score.
Samoyo check, and then you'll come back and let the rest of us know. And, I think some people take it for granted and they think it's a me thing. And for somebody like me, I always know it's not a me thing. If I don't do this right, the next woman who comes after me, the next black woman who comes after me will not be given the opportunity.
I was going to say, it can't be, it must be a heavy crown, pun unavoidable.
Yeah.
It must be a heavy crown to bear that some people look at you and say it's your pretty privilege or your beauty pageant background that open doors for you. How do you deal with those people?
I think for me, in all honesty, pageantry and even winning Miss South Africa, in a humble way, it did put me 10 steps ahead of other people, not because of looks.
Sure.
But it gave me an opportunity of a lifetime. It's a platform that just can't be compared to most platforms, especially for women.
Absolutely.
It opened a lot of doors. But I would like to think that even 15 years later, I would like to think that I'm proving that it didn't go to waste.
You're still here.
Because I'm still here and I'm still doing the work. And the work that I've always spoken about as well. So for me, it's always been about legacy. And I've hit a few walls along the way. But like I said, and you start again and you try again and you knock and you knock and you knock. Because that's what it is, really.
Sure.
Yeah.
In fact, you speak a lot about legacy, about land, etc. How important is, for instance, land ownership for you, legacy? The other day, the appropriation bill was in the news.
Yeah. It's important for women to own things. It's extremely important. It's important for women to own it's important. And I always heard this thing of people are allowed to change their nights. So if a man walks up tomorrow and says, you know what, I don't love you anymore, no hard feelings, blah, 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 you should be able to allow him to atamaeka khodzo and still have something that's going to protect you.
Yes.
I grew up in a family where my father was raising 3 girls. And one of the things with him, it was that it's a non-negotiable. So if it happens that the marriage falls apart, you have somewhere to go. You're always welcome at home, but it would still be nice to have you be independent and
walk away into your own space.
Yes. So I grew up with that, and that's what we had to do at home before we got married. But I think ownership is so important because oftentimes, and as a woman, you are left alone to fend and take care of the kids. Yes. And I think it's important for us, even in marriages, have the tough conversations before you even get married. I had to sit down with my husband and we had to have the tough conversations, as in like, what do you have? What do I have? What would you still like to keep as yours and yours alone? What are we doing together collectively? How do we still have independence and still be in a marriage? Those are tough conversations, but they need to be had. Because then 5 years, 10 years later, you are really going to separate because of something you didn't discuss even before you guys met. And so ownership is very, very important.
It's a conversation I've had with a lot of lady friends of mine who are married.
Yeah.
And I always ask them one question. If he was to drop dead right now, will you be okay?
Yeah.
If he was to pack his bags tomorrow and leave you with the kids, will you be okay? If you decide you've had enough and you walk away, will you be okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're not going to be okay, then you're doing something.
You're doing something wrong. You need to make sure.
And I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of women now are stashing money.
Yeah, hiding.
In the event that this man walks away, or in the event that I want to walk away, then I have a little nest egg.
Yeah.
And we should not have to live like that.
You shouldn't have to. Somebody actually said something like that at an event, and I said, it shouldn't have to be that dramatic.
Yes.
As a couple, you can actually sit and say, what's making my love? And it's for emergencies. Should anything happen, Liana, you should be able to say, here. And the transparency in a marriage, especially when it comes to finances, is so important. But unfortunately, when a person does that, there must have been something along the way. Because I always say, if a man, I'm giving an example, if a man makes you feel like this, you will end up feeling the need.
Financial abuse.
Yeah. You know, so I think we really need to have these conversations in terms of, you know, finances in marriages, how they're handled. But it always boils down to how is the other person making the other person feel.
You know what the problem is? Unfortunately,
Yeah.
it's almost it's almost like a power thing. And I'm not going to generalize and say most men,
Yeah.
but a lot of men enjoy the balance of power resting with them, that she's my dependent. And it doesn't help that generally in Africa, women fall under bana.
Yes.
So if I say to Siphiwe, bana, that includes you.
That includes me.
Because you're one of the children. And I think half of the problem is exactly that.
Yeah.
And that's why your average guy will never complain if she says, I want to stay at home.
Yeah.
Because that means more
Control.
That means less independence for her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But
and I'm hoping we can have these conversations, even as Majita,
Yeah.
that for me, if she's not ambitious, I'm worried. I want you to want to be able to fly, and I should let you fly. No, it's not even let.
Yeah.
Because you're not my child.
You're not, yeah.
You're not my child.
Yeah.
But I should encourage you to want, dude, even after our divorce.
Yeah.
Even after our divorce, I said to Tabiso, what do you still want to do that you haven't done? She said, I want to write a book. I was like, fine, get a quote. I will fund the book.
Do that.
I asked her, what else do you want to do? I want to, produce honey. I want to raise bees. So I was like, please, let's go get you bees. This was after our divorce.
Yeah.
Because for me, it was also important that even within our divorce, she's thriving.
Yeah, 'cause
so that our children can see
watching that.
happy mom, happy. No, they didn't know even.
Yeah.
But for me, it was they must see a happy mom and a happy dad.
Yes.
Even if we're apart.
And you know what the biggest issue is? I think because these conversations are not being had, but I always say, Mutu wa mona man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but
You know.
Mutu wa mona.
You know you're devil. You know you're devil.
I say to everyone, I don't want to hear it because mujolo ha nyalo lakao.
Yes.
You know, you should be able to pick up these little red flags and just know gore motho o gatella lenyalong or not, right? And I think basadi, we are such hopeful human beings. It's almost like change this and that. But I think the red flags are always there. Basadi should notice those red flags. But indeed, you should be worried if your wife is not ambitious. Even you as a man should worry. You should know if anything happens to me, I have the type of a wife who will be able to hold up the ship for the kids, even if I'm not here.
Exactly.
You also, I think, a sense of security as a man as well, because I think it's important. I think you also want to know, should I lose my job for like a good 6 months or a year? My wife, so the control thing, I think it's really tragic. But like I'm saying, it's egos, right?
It's control and insecurity.
Yeah.
Which is a damn shame. Absolutely. Now, obviously, hubby plays board.
Yeah.
So he's represented the country at the highest level.
Yeah.
You've represented the country at the highest level. What do you teach the kids about either patriotism or about, I guess I'm looking for the right word. Not loyalty to the flag.
To the flag.
But do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
That this is who we are.
African, this is who we are.
You know what I mean? This is your language.
Yeah.
This is your heritage.
Yeah.
That English is just a way of communicating with other people. But this is who we are. How are you guys teaching your kids that?
What we are trying to do now, especially because it was very difficult with our son. And I remember one of the teachers saying, maybe you guys should speak, English at home, because I said, no, you are the teacher. Maybe you should learn how to greet him in his language.
Absolutely.
And to start the conversation in his language. You see, her face, I'll never forget how it was. But then...
So you are that parent?
No, I am that parent.
Parent-teacher.
No. You are not going to try and make my child less black.
Sure.
And that's that.
And you're in Africa. You must adapt.
Yeah, make a plan. And shame. But 2 weeks later, I remember dropping him off, and she was like, "Dumela mokgotsi wa ka o wethu." I'm like, "Oh, shame." At least she tried.
Yeah.
But for us, it's, I mean, everything, you know the work we do about being African, being proudly African, making sure it starts with the tiniest little things, making sure my kids play with dolls that look like them, making sure that we're close. Today, my little girl has a Princess Bokang outfit. She actually went to school with one today, and that's important. Ngwana a ipone a tsebe gore I'm important, I'm beautiful, and I'm enough. That's where it starts. And then I think also we're trying to work on the language thing. So our son actually taking him to African to Zulu lessons. Very important, because I want him to learn his father's language. That's his identity. I know how to speak, write, and read in Sepedi, and it makes me proud. I'm so proud of it, and I think it's so important, because now if you take these kids to these schools whereby Habaruti, their languages, and then they come back home, fine, you're speaking Sepedi, daddy's speaking Zulu, we add with English here and there. But the truth of the matter is, I want them to know how to,
They must be proficient.
Yeah, they must know. That's their language. I say to somebody that in my 30s, I learned how to pray in Sepedi.
Yes.
Because it was so tough. The journey with my son was so tough that, when I'm praying in English, like, I just feel like my soul is black.
Yes.
Yeah, my soul is African. And so, yeah.
But surely half of it is also our fault.
It is.
That as much as the schools do bare minimum, when it comes to languages outside of Afrikaans and Sizulu, they do the bare minimum.
Yeah.
And if we are not going to equip our kids to be able to converse with us in our languages, for me, it's a problem.
We're failing them.
That's a problem. And I think we are. A good bunch of us are. Again, we're not going to generalize.
Yeah.
But I'd love a situation where we exert so much pressure on the Department of Basic Education that they make an effort for the other languages.
Yeah.
I should be able to say, my child ubua Sivenda, and I want my child taught as many of the languages as possible in Siven.
Yeah.
And we can't hide behind budget anymore. I apologize. We can't hide behind, 30 years.
But
we haven't raised the money yet.
You know what's so sad? What's so sad is the teachers will tell you, we don't know why they're making these kids learn Afrikaans. It's the thing. It's like, we just don't understand. I mean, I'm not happy about that. I don't understand why my son must learn Afrikaans, I'll be much happier if the two languages, Redefining English, le Sisulu. That would make me very, very happy.
Yes.
And you are right. I think we're very complacent. And I think also a lot of people in our generation,
Yes.
and I'm like,
Yeah, my friend,
it's not something to be proud of.
My friend's sister was that person.
Yeah.
Where she took so much pride in the fact that a little 6-year-old only spoke English.
Yeah.
And I was disturbed, but it was none of my business.
Yeah.
So I didn't even comment. I didn't even get involved. I'm like, so much.
But I saw my parents be very intentional, because I remember they would make me read a Sepedi. My father would make me read a Sepedi novel all the way from Kampasele to town. Because he knew what skolong nobody's teaching me Sepedi.
Yes.
And that's how I learned. And then also Gagai Naravulela Sepedi.
Sure.
So that's how I learned. Not at school. Yeah.
Learning how to break a Sepedi at the age of 30. Yeah. Did he listen better?
He did. No, he did. It was from my soul. I promise you. It was, like I said, the journey with my son tested me spiritually in so many ways. And there's just a way in, I'm tired in comparison to Medimo Kilapile. It doesn't feel the same. I'm tired is like, I've had enough.
Or just saying to Mudim,
You
that alone is a prayer.
That's what I'm saying. That's exact. So he heard me better, because right now my son can't stop speaking. He's doing well at school. So I definitely think he heard me better. I think he did. Yeah. But I think it was also just a big, important part of me becoming myself. I don't know. It was a beautiful reconnection, I think, with me, within myself. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, that chapter of my journey really made me connect with myself in ways unimaginable, and even reconnect with God on a very, very high level, higher than I ever could have imagined.
Yeah, because you're now speaking from your soul, your heart, your gut.
And for my child.
And even your ancestors as well.
Something must happen.
The Madosi had a board meeting. This time they're like, you're not a mukwi.
Yeah, no, definitely. It was a very interesting time. Yeah.
We are running out of time. So I'm going to go through the last couple of questions and ideas.
Yeah.
Miss South Africa this past weekend.
Yeah.
Your verdict on the winner and on the pageant in J this past weekend. The winner almost looks like you, hey?
Everybody says that.
Okay, so I'm not imagining.
I'm happy. No,
That's
people have been saying that on social media.
That's the first thing I said when I saw the winner, because I was in Swaziland traveling. I saw the winner. I was like, Motoki Boka. Yeah. So you're back.
I'm back. I'm back again. Listen, I'm very happy with her. Very supportive that she won. And her advocacy, obviously, it's one that, touches me in all ways. She's a speech therapist. And her advocacy is for children with autism. So you can only imagine, she's
like I said,
my heart.
She's you.
She is me. She has my heart, and I'm very excited for her. I'm very excited for her because she has been strong in her advocacy. And I just think she's really going to do the work. She's really going to make the difference. Sure. And you know what? I know a lot of people always have opinions. In my year, I'm sure there were people who thought somebody else should win. But
exactly.
I always say this to say, being a Miss South Africa, unfortunately, it's a calling.
Yes.
You get chosen.
Yeah.
And not by human beings, not by the judges. Decided long before you're born that this is going to be part of your journey. And so I genuinely believe that she is the right winner.
What are your thoughts on the direction they're taking in terms of the other finalists will still be within the ecosystem?
I think it's fantastic. I think it is such... Listen, oftentimes you win and then the rest of the girls are gone. Yes. I think it's going to be exceptional because all of a sudden, instead of having one ambassador, as an organization now you've got 10.
And you've empowered
10 people, instead of just one person. And I mean, you're going to see great things from each and every single girl because they all had something to offer. In order for them to make it to the top 10, it means then they are really incredible young women.
They've been through the paces already.
Yeah. And so I think we're just going to see more growth and we're just going to see them branching out and doing what they love.
Sure.
Yeah.
My one bugbear with pageants in this country.
Yeah.
And it goes back to what we were talking about earlier on.
Yeah.
Surely we can discard of the English if we find someone Govenda or Gohampashile who speaks Sepedi.
Yeah.
But she ticks every other box but the English. Why can't she compete in language?
She can.
Can she now?
Yeah.
Are you for real?
Well, in my pageants, they can. And maybe we just haven't seen somebody who goes further. But I remember judging Miss Essay at some point.
No, but at some stage, like I said, about 5-6 years ago, it said must be able to speak English or something. Is what I'd see.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken.
I wasn't aware of
I stand to be correct.
But I think it should be allowed.
Yes.
I think it should be allowed because the fact that some girls can twang with their English, it's privilege.
Sure.
And if you're going to say we want to Miss South Africa from whatever different corners, and a lot of girls do actually stay away because they cannot speak
because of the English barrier.
It is true.
The language you're not able to speak should not what disqualifies you from participating.
Yeah.
Because then is it truly Miss South Africa or Miss whatever or Miss Nigeria if we're saying only if you speak English?
Yeah. No, I think for me personally, I think the girls should be allowed. I'm actually thinking hard about this because I'm thinking of my pageant. So I'm thinking, must actually make it very clear. I think so the girls do not feel small and actually encourage it. I actually like what we're discussing now because
and that English is not your strong point.
You don't have to use it as a medium of language.
And it's actually a perfect conversation to you and hubby because we see it in pageants and in soccer after the interviews after the game.
Yeah.
Speak your language, guys.
Yeah.
Yo, guys. It's 2025, guys.
No, for me, I think every girl in this country should be allowed to enter and be. I remember when I did Miss SA, I actually did my interview with Sonia. Sonia was one of the judges, Sonia Booth, and my interview with her, the one-on-one was in nothing but Sepedi.
You see.
So actually to come think of it, yeah.
Director of Miss Universe South Africa.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Well, I got the call. Hubby and I had taken the kids to Durban. And then we were on the beach, and then I get a call to say, listen, can we please hop on a call with you in the next 30 minutes?
So who's we? Who called you?
The Miss Universe organization.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, okay, to discuss, I'm trying to... And then there we were. We had to rush the kids off the beach. They were not very happy with us. And then I had to go back to our hotel to get a quiet space to have the conversation.
Which is Sukilitsatsi.
Yeah, but thank God they couldn't see me.
You've got sand in your cozy. Yo.
Yeah, and then they said, listen, we would love for you to be the national director for South Africa.
That is dope.
Your track record is absolutely amazing. We know you have the license even now for Supra. We would love for you to come on.
So Supra came on because that's my home.
No, there's a pageant as well, one of the top pageants that's called Miss Supranational South Africa. So I'm a director for that. And I just sent a girl very recently to go and represent South Africa. So they were like, listen, we watched your work. We love it, blah, 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 blah. And yeah, and I said, okay.
So what does this mean in the bigger scheme of you and your career?
Sure. For me, it's a very, it's a full circle moment. Because I have been on the Miss Universe stage, just on the other side.
Exactly.
And now I get to grant a young woman in our country on a yearly basis the same opportunity. People always laugh when I say one of the songs that makes me very emotional, guys.
Yes.
I don't know how to explain it, but it makes me so emotional. The South African flag has a totally different meaning for me than it probably does for most people who are in South Africa. Because I know what it means to stand on that stage and just see this flag and just know I am one. It is, I don't know how to explain it.
And I must still not cry.
I must still not cry. Like just looking into a crowd and seeing South African flags and just knowing that's me. Yes. The entire country. Like I'm carrying the hopes of an entire country. So for me, career-wise, it's absolutely amazing. I think, it's an extension of everything else that I do. The platforms that I create for young women, and this is just a beautiful extension in pageantry in the highest form.
But Miss Universe is not linked to Miss SA, right?
No, not any.
So it will be a separate
It will be a separate pageant.
When did they separate? Why did they separate?
I have no idea why.
So I want to be
separated. Yeah.
Abalwan.
I hope I want to beef.
Hope there's no cat fight. Should say before, South Africa would then
send a girl to Miss World and Miss Universe.
Okay.
You see, so I got to do Miss World and Miss Universe when I was crowned Miss South Africa. And then a few years back, then they added Supra as well. So when you win Miss South Africa, there are 3 pageants, international license, what South Africa has.
Okay.
Then they lost the Supra. The Supra came to me. They lost the World. And it went somewhere else. Then Supra came to me, and now Universe.
So, what are the tenamos? Visu sapana gani tenamo? Ungari peasant.
Oh my gosh!
Bokang, what did you?
They broke up and then they came after me.
Yeah, that's exactly how Stina works.
I wasn't in the picture before. Okay, so it's a Stina.
The ex will always blame the next one, whether you were there or not.
So yeah.
So now there's going to be a separate Miss Universe.
Yeah.
So how's that going to work, and when is it?
We're going to have it next year. We're going to have it next year, probably within the first quarter.
Okay.
And how that's going to work is we're going to do our road shows. We're going to go to every single province because I really love...
Not just in English?
Not just in English.
Because otherwise there's not universe. No, because otherwise then it's might as well be Miss Commonwealth.
Yeah.
Because the real English, you think.
No, we're going to go to every single province and then get our girls, because I think I really want us to take it back to the days where every single province got represented.
Oh, yes.
I think, there was a sense of excitement. And so I really want us to do it that way. That's the plan. And then we're going to choose a winner. But I think it's also important because I've heard the conversations, about the international stage. And I say to everyone, we are not going to put an entire program together for 2 or 3 weeks of a girl, just for 2 or 3 weeks of a girl being on stage. It's about what the girl can do in the country.
Oh, yes.
And I think oftentimes we really have to remind South Africans of that, because it's always like, is she going to win? This one doesn't look like her. Or that's not it. That's just the cherry on top. That's what the girl gets with a beautiful year of reigning and really serving people in our country. Yeah.
Are you excited about the new journey?
I am super excited. I think it came just in time, and I've been waiting for it for over 12 years.
You knew it was coming.
I knew it was coming. It's on my vision board. My husband was like, even when we dated, he was like, I remember when we dated and in your room had a list of all the first time I saw your vision board, and it was like it was there.
Yo, so you've been waiting. It's like, but phone.
I've been waiting for 12 years. Oh, they took their time. But I think the timing is perfect. I don't think... Listen, there's some things, it makes sense later. I think I'm more matured now and I'm ready for it. So, yeah.
Yeah, you might have taken it through it 10 years ago.
Yeah. No, I probably wouldn't have been able to continue the legacy and make sure that it's a brand that's worth advertising young people to actually be a part of. So I think the timing is right. I think I'm in a good space now.
We are out of time, unfortunately.
Aww.
How do people support everything that you do?
Sure.
Like, where can we buy what? Where can we watch what?
Woo.
Where can we message about what?
I think people can go on my social media page. So on my profile, you'll find all the other pages that I'm linked to.
Which are what?
Pageantry is at African Beauty International. With business, it's at SB Kids. And then also with my foundation. So I'm opening a center for children with autism, giving free speech therapy and OT to parents who cannot afford. So you can go to at Bokang Montjane Foundation, and you're going to find all these under my personal page, which is at Bokang_air.
Yo, blind is it? Blind.
I told my husband the other day. No, I said to him, they call me a legend in the radio station. Guess what? I'm a legend too.
No, blind. Eh?
But thank you.
You must tell him, what Philip is here now. I'm here.
Thank you so much for the insight. You know what? It was such a nice chat.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Before you leave, two things. What are you most grateful for on this very day that we're here right now?
Sure.
And what do you fear still?
What do I still fear? That's a top one. I am grateful, like I said to you, I am grateful for the favor in my life. I'm grateful that there's like literally millions of people who are working 10 times harder than me, and I still get to have my life. I still get to have these opportunities. I still get to walk in grace of favor. I'm so grateful every day for God's favor. I get to give my children the best that's there to offer. My husband, my parents, I'm grateful for favor. My entire life is really complete. And yeah, what do I still fear? Fear. I haven't thought about it lately. I think I'm a mom, so I think I fear a lot for my kids. And I think that's why I pray for them as much as I do, that their journey I know it won't always be smooth, but I always pray and I say, whatever surrounds me, whatever that it is that got me here, I hope it surrounds and carries my kids as well throughout their entire life. So I think oftentimes when fear is involved, it has to do with my kids. Yeah.
You know, when you talk about the favor and the privilege.
Sure.
It's a conversation I was having with my daughter the other day, a 17-year-old, because she's going to do a gap year.
Yeah.
Because she skipped a grade.
Yeah. She feels like
she wants to do a gap year so she can better reposition herself. And I was telling her that maybe for January, come and shadow me at work.
Yeah.
Come shadow me at work so that you can see what I do and see what happens behind the scenes. And the first thing she said was, Dad, but that's nepotism. Surely that is not good. And I reminded her that don't be apologetic for
having a parent who can...
the privilege that the work I have done affords you.
Yeah.
Just don't take it for granted and just don't flaunt it in people's faces.
Yeah.
But never apologize for the privilege of having doors opened for you so you can walk into rooms.
And that's not a privilege that most Black people have.
Exactly.
So when you've got it, embrace it.
And then I said to her, it's only nepotism if I give you a job but you suck at it.
Yeah. You don't.
As long as you're good at it, it's not nepotism. It's someone who is good for the job and got the job. Never forget that.
But my dad always used to say, my job is to make sure your life is 10 times better than what I had.
That's all.
That's it.
That's all.
And he's done his part. And now it's our time to make sure that our children, they mustn't go through the same struggles. The way we worried about our first properties, which are, it must it's our job to make sure they have a life that is 10 times better than what we had. We must open those doors for them.
Please,
as long as we can.
Please drop the mic now. Bokang, like I said, Oplaindi. And we see your work. The reason you are here is because we see your work. And like I said, the first interview was 2018.
Yeah.
And when you were launching Owetu Inspired, what dolls,
Yes.
like
Clothing.
clothing and everything else. And we continue to see you. And we'll continue to say your name in rooms you're not in. Or we'll continue to scream from the tallest mountains about we know her.
Thank you.
Please, all of you, support her. Ladies and gentlemen, she is about to strut her way out of the Wow What a Week catwalk into probably another boardroom. But they'll know she's on the way because her V8
Oh my God.
will announce her before she gets there.
Oh my goodness.
Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Bokang. Please find her on social media. Let's support every single thing that she does because she's earned it. It's not privilege, it's hard work. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Wow What a Week. We do this again next week. Coming to you from Discover TV. Let them be your stage. Find them on social media. Use the space. The space is available for you. Maybe you want to do a DJ set. They will entertain you and set up for you and even maybe shoot a video for you. That is what you need. Trevor and his crew at Pezulu Works rushing us and telling us time is up. Shout out to Trevor and the crew. Keleso Mudisa King is our executive producer. Lati has done extra production on the show. And most importantly, you for hanging out with us. Till next week, have a great week. In spite of yourselves, we're out of here.